preparation when it comes to torrential downpour. Isn't that right?
That's right. You must turn off your gas and electricity and quickly evacuate from areas vulnerable to flash flooding.
What should we do if we are already outside?
Evacuate to a safe place, away from construction sites, underground spaces, and areas prone to frequent flooding. If you're driving, do not stop the car. Instead, slowly drive through the flooded area without stopping.
What should we do once the rain stops?
When going into buildings that have been submerged, do not touch electrical facilities and make sure to ventilate, as there is a risk of gas leakage.
We should also reduce preventable damages and prepare for disasters ahead of time by following safety guidelines.
That is correct. You can receive real-time safety information through the Disaster Safety Information mobile app, 안전 디딤돌.
Thank you for all the great information. Remember, your safety is everyone's safety. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
The situation in Cambodia is a top national priority right now, with the Korean government set to impose a travel ban on parts of Cambodia. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced yesterday that certain areas that are under a special travel advisory, those areas will be upgraded to level 4, which translates to travel ban. That includes Bokor Mountain, and that's a spot where the Korean university student was found dead after being tortured. Other areas that are rife with criminal activity will also be upgraded to level 3, or advisory to leave. Officially, South Korea and Cambodia's relationship was just elevated to a strategic partnership last year. Here's hoping the local authorities can get a handle on the situation so that more victims, whether they're Korean or any other nationality, aren't put in these precarious situations. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Thursday, October 16th on BEFM, 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. And just in case you haven't checked, it is, pouring right now. I hope you're all going to be okay. If you need to head out today, whether it's for work or for anything else, I do advise leaving extra early. So I'll give you the weather update in just a little bit. But as far as when we, the staff members here, made it to the station, it was really, really coming down. So make sure you leave nice and early. We have been following the developments out of Cambodia regarding South Korean nationals getting tangled up in these job scams, some being detained illegally, and of course, that tragic death. Although the figures are still being worked out among the authorities, we are looking at hundreds of reports of detentions or other forms of criminal activity. But to most of us, this whole incident seemingly popped out of nowhere and seem to have escalated very quickly. You might be wondering, what's behind this sudden surge? Well, the common thread for many of these individuals who left for Cambodia before they went missing or lost contact with family is that they went to the country for job opportunities. That's the common thread. According to the police, most of the unsolved cases involve organized human trafficking, labor exploitation, and borrowed name bank accounts, 대포통장. So this is how these criminal organizations seem to be recruiting people with this, the allure. They're luring them in to these allegedly lucrative jobs. These brokers approach young job seekers or those who are in debt. And those who have fallen victim say that, although there was that twinge of doubt, they felt compelled to apply due to their urgent economic needs. Experts say that at the root of this is the domestic job situation in South Korea, especially for young people in non-capital areas. The reason I say this is that there has actually been another pattern. Many of the reports have been around young people in provincial areas such as Gwangju, Jeju, Daegu, and Gyeongbuk. This comes as the National Data Agency figures show that the number of employed people between the ages of 15 and 29 has gone down by some 219,000 in the past year, with the figures especially bad for the non-capital areas. Of course, this doesn't excuse those who exploit these situations for criminal purposes, but it's also true that there are holes in the market for young people. So, once again, we're talking about this because it seems to be the common thread for now. And of course, we're hoping for the best outcomes for people who are in these dangerous situations. So, in terms of the travel ban, it went into effect, I believe, as of midnight last night. So, that's for only certain areas. It's a level 4. In certain other areas, it might be 3. And I have seen also level 2. So you do need to check ahead of time if you're planning to travel right now. All right, let's get into our text topic. Who do you go to vent or pour your heart out to? 자, 내가 주로 고민 털어놓는 상대는 ooh. Well, I'm very curious about who you spill your guts to. For one, I can say, aside from my roommate, for the real stuff, definitely my sister. My sister is my go-to person. We can talk about anything and everything. But that's just me. I want to hear from you. Send in your thoughts, your opinions to BFM's live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM, Busan 영어 방송, and you can subscribe and join in the very lively chat room on YouTube. Also from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. Find us first. BEFM, Busan 영어 방송. Type that in, and then you'll find our account. Add us as a friend first, and then you can send in your messages and photos as well. The ways you can tune into our program, Morning Wave in Busan, through the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. That's if you're in the Busan area. We're streaming live right now on YouTube. You can watch again however many times at your leisure. Also, the BEFM app and the Popbang app, both are free and easy to download. So you can access our program in so many different ways. All right. Looking ahead to our Thursday morning together, we have Asked Dr. Ryu with Dr. Ryu Sang-hyo. That's coming up in hour number 1. In hour number 2, we have Vasana joining us for a Buzz Breakdown. And today for a special interview. Today also is October 16th, right? This day also happens to be World Food Day. When we hear the word food, I think food has so many different connotations for different people. For those of us who have enough, we might be thinking, oh, I need to cut down. But what about for people who don't have enough? So we're going to talk about improving food security and beyond. So that's coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:07. This is News Overview. South Korea issues travel ban on Cambodia's Bokor Mountain region. The Foreign Ministry yesterday issued a level 4 travel ban on Cambodia's Bokor Mountain region in Kampot province and in the cities of Bavet and Poipet. All of Seoul designated as speculative zones. The government has designated the remaining 21 districts in Seoul as speculative zones, imposing tougher loan regulations for the entirety of Seoul as its latest attempt to curb housing prices. South Korea and U.S. trade talk results may be imminent. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that Seoul and Washington can resolve the differences over the $350 billion investment pledge, giving a 10-day estimate for results of the deal to be announced. Stocks soared to a record high of 3,000 trillion won market cap. South Korea's benchmark stock index, the Kospi, reached an all-time new high yesterday, surpassing the 3,650 milestone for the first time, with total market capitalization exceeding 3,000 trillion won, or 3 quadrillion won, for a new record. Friction builds in Gaza ceasefire over body exchange. Tensions are building in this Gaza ceasefire as Hamas handed over the bodies of 2 more hostages Wednesday night local time, but Israel is growing frustrated over the speed of the return of the remains. And this was News Overview. It's time for Now in Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Great morning.
Yes. How did you get here? Did you take the subway? Because it was pouring.
Take a bus.
Ah.
I was choking it down. Got a bit soaked.
Yes. It was really, really bad. So, by the way, listeners out there, if you're in Busan, let us know, or anywhere else in the country, how you're doing. I hope you're all doing well. Our text topic today is this, though. Who do you vent to, or who do you pour your heart out to?
It's my older sister.
Oh.
She's like my bestie. And I'm happy to have her. She has some side that I lack. So emotional side, sometimes I don't. Yeah.
I see.
She offered a great support and piece of advice in terms of emotion wise.
Oh, she's your yin to your yang. I like that. So what's the age difference?
4 years difference.
4. Oh.
She's turning 30 soon. Yes.
Oh, I love the TMI this morning. Outing your sister and her age, but yes. Sisters are the best. My sister is 6 years younger than I am, but sometimes I feel she's like my older sister because I go to her for everything. Like her Korean's better than mine. I go, 이거 뭐야? Like, what is this? And so she's my, I don't know, troubleshooter for everything. If you're listening, I love you, little sister. Okay, let's get into Now in Busan. There's a big development in Busan's higher education scene. 5 local universities teaming up in kind of this first of its kind regional model, right?
Yes, we've got these 5 universities in Busan, like Busan National University, PNU, or Busan National University of Education, PNUE, Dongha, Dongseo, and Gyeongsang University. And they've all decided to team up. It's like the first time anyone has done this kind of regional global university collaboration. So they signed a whole MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, yesterday. And the idea is they're going to turn themselves into these innovation hubs that connect the local community with the wider world and just basically become more globally competitive together.
I see. What exactly are they going to do, though?
They've got all these plans to share their innovations around the region, help local talent grow, and kind of strengthen ties between the government, businesses, and universities in Busan and the Southeast area. And yeah, they are planning to do this annual showcase to show off what they've achieved.
Well, let's talk about the individual tracks. What are Busan National University, PNU, and Busan National University of Education, Kyode? What are they going to be doing?
They're kind of merging their teacher training programs into one integrated model over at Yeonje campus. And the Dongha and Dongseo Alliance is focusing on building this sustainable, revenue-driven industrial park and making their field education more practical.
I see.
Meanwhile, Gyeongsang Uni is diving into K-culture. So things like film, media art, gaming, and animation.
So it does sound like they're taking a big step toward a stronger, more connected university ecosystem. So that's, of course, great for Busan. Thanks for sharing that update. Next up, let's talk about transportation. Station nameplates are getting kind of a tweak to match the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries move, I hear.
Yes, the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries is going to move their office to Busan by the end of the year.
Yes.
And because of that, public transport nameplates will see some updates as well.
Okay.
Busan Transportation Corporation is going to change the 부기역명 under the Busanjin Station on Line 1, which is a station right next to where the ministry's new office will be.
Yes.
And 부기역명 is a little extra name that goes under the main station name. So people can easily spot important places nearby, like public offices or universities.
I see. So are they getting people maybe involved in the change?
Yes, to figure out what the new little title should be, they're going to do an online public survey for about 10 days, starting on the 20th. After that, next month, they'll hold a little briefing session for people living nearby.
I see. And what's the current, I guess, the secondary name? What is it right now?
Busanjin Station's sub name has been Donggu Office because that's what's been since 2017.
Okay.
Now they are planning to add the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries alongside it. Once they review everything and make a decision next month, they will finalize the new name. And by December, all the signs should be updated.
Yes, so definitely, the ministry is coming where they're relocating. And this is just another example, another sign of that. All right, next up, it's a big week for Busan after 25 years. The 106th National Sports Festival is back in. We just had a peek into the opening ceremony plan, right?
Yes, they unveiled the production direction for the opening ceremony.
Okay.
Which kicks off at 6 p.m. on the 17th, so tomorrow, at Busan Asiad Main Stadium. It will be a comprehensive art show with a vision in global hub city Busan, a united Republic of Korea.
Yes, so who's steering the ship backstage?
They've got top experts at home and abroad involved, like Park Kalin, who's a big name in musical theatre, and Laurent Stemari, who used to be the technical director for Circus of the Sun. The theme is the ship arrives in Busan. They're going to have this huge set that looks like a real container terminal from Busan port, and right there on the field.
Wow, so it does sound spectacular and very fitting for our port city, Busan. What's the mood before, I guess, like the main show?
The pre-show is all about capturing that port energy and hustle of the ships coming in.
Okay.
Then in the first part of the show, you've got this musical star, 최재림, and the cast popping out of the containers to tell the story of the port city and the greed and hopes of the people of the Busan.
Yes.
And then comes the big moment in the second part of the show, the torch lighting. They'll have this crane dance. The final torchbearer will light it up. There will be fireworks, and the official part of the program will start at 6:30 p.m. with the Atlas Parade.
Oh, that's always exciting. And what about the lineup for the celebratory stage?
For the finale, Daybreak and singer Kim Tae-woo performing. Mayor Park Hyung-jun says it will be a stage of unity and emotion that shows off the charm of Busan.
Wow. So I'm really excited. I'm sure many people are as well, whether it's for the athletes, like the sports itself, or the opening ceremony like we just talked about. All right. I hear you have some interesting news for young language learners here in Busan.
Yes, Busan City is going to hold the 2025 Busan AI English Retelling Competition. On November 1st, they will have it at Busan Global Village Grand Auditorium.
Yes.
They are mixing artificial intelligence with English retelling.
So AI with English retelling. It sounds really like kind of futuristic. So who can enter this?
So kids from grades 3 to 6 in Busan can join in. They'll have the practice period from September 22 to 27, do an online preliminary round, and then the top 10 will compete live on November 1st at the Global Village Auditorium.
I see. And what's the competition format going to be like?
There are two groups, one for the younger kids in grade 3 and 4,
Yes.
and another for grades 5th and 6. And any elementary student in Busan can join online. They will read an English passage, then retell it in English within their own interpretation and reflections.
I like this idea. So, for the young students who are joining in, good luck. It's going to be a good experience. And, whether you place or not, it really does not matter. So thank you for all the local news, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Stay safe. Thank you, Sajin.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It's time for your traffic and weather. First up, there are some road closures because of the heavy rain. The lower riverside roads along Oncheoncheon, including Saebyongyo, Suyeongyo, and Yeonanyo bridges are closed, so you're going to have to take a detour. There is congestion from the Dongseok overpass from Hwangyong ramp to the old Daegum tollgate. It's backed up on Byeongno from the Wondong ramp to Suyeong tunnel as well, and it's looking slow on Runo Samsungdaero from Myeongji underpass to Shinho Bridge. So if you haven't noticed, it is raining right now in Busan quite heavily in some areas. It's currently 19 degrees. The rain will continue throughout the day. Looking at the weather nationwide, it's basically raining across the country. However, the rain will cease in the capital area and parts of Gangwon by this morning. Gyeongsang and Jeju will see rain through the afternoon. Stronger winds, thunder, and lightning are expected in the southern parts of the country, so please be careful out there today. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for top stories. We have Haley in the studio. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, so you made it safe and sound.
I'm in my rain boots. We're good. Are we? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
But I do want to know, who do you vent to or pour your heart out to?
It depends on what topic it is, because especially for work stuff.
Yes.
If you could go to your mom, your friends, but they don't know who 무슨 부장님
exactly.
is. Then I'm like, I have to explain the entire thing, the whole
부장님이랑
dynamic.
문제 있어요?
아니요, 누구요? 왜 그러세요?
As an example, right? Like the look of terror in Haley's eyes.
What are you doing?
As an example.
As an example. My goodness. Or,
Yes.
Then, you might not believe it, but she is the one that I go to for my work grievances.
We
actually has just turned into a work grievance as we speak. So thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Like, we're texting each other.
And then we're like, no, we have to call because my thumb just can't. It
can't keep up with what I'm thinking.
Hurts.
We're like,
yeah.
Are you busy? Can you talk? That's what we do about work. What about for the personal stuff?
For the personal stuff, I think I saw this short form video. It's like a reel of it says that all the women, all girls, I don't know about guys, they have a chat room of usually 3 girlfriends. And it has like a weird name.
Yes.
It has a title. And then that's where they pour their heart out to. And I have one too. And when I type into that chat room, I specifically get onto my computer, the PC talk, because this the typing needs to happen as opposed to the thumb on my phone.
Yes.
I need all 10 fingers.
Well, I hope that all the waivers out there, they have someone to vent to. I was reading 고수's message. 저는 고민을 말하는 상대가 없답니다. I'll read more of it later on, so we'll leave it at jump for now because we got to get into top stories. First, let's get the latest on the Cambodia situation, as a South Korean government team is now in Cambodia, right?
Right. So they arrived last night, the government team led by the second vice Vietnamese Foreign Minister Kim Jin-ah arrived in Cambodia. Kim stated that the team has requested for a proactive investigation, and we'll get to the specific case in a bit.
Yes.
But they're also working to get a meeting with top officials in Cambodia to extradite 61 South Koreans who are under official custody.
Right.
2 people have already been extradited as of yesterday. However, interestingly, a lot of the other detainees are of the opinion they want to stay in Cambodia.
Right.
And then also earlier in the day, National Security Advisor Wi Song-nak held a press conference saying that back then 63 South Korean nationals were under Cambodian custody. And also he had data from the National Intelligence Service that some 1,000 South Koreans are involved in one way or another in the scam operations across the country.
Yes.
So the goal as it stands is to get these 61 extradited or sent back to Korea by the weekend. So we have 2 to 3 days left there.
Okay.
Other countries are also working on forming a joint scam response task force with a majority of Cambodian officials and some South Korean officials. And the thing is, behind the masterminds of these scam complexes are said to be some Chinese nationals. So the officials are also working with China. National Security Advisor Wee said that the Cambodian government has been cooperating. So, and they are of the position to pass off those South Korean nationals to Seoul.
Okay.
And because there have been some rumors and writings online about how Cambodia has not been cooperating, so we called on these speculations to stop.
I see. As this is going on, though, a South Korean woman was found dead in Vietnam, right by the Cambodian border.
Right. So this marks the second death that we know of so far of a South Korean in that general region. So according to Seoul's Haewap police station, a woman in her 30s, her body was found on October 7th on the Vietnamese border close to Cambodia. Her body has already gone through the autopsy by the local authorities and has been passed off to the family. The local authorities are investigating the case and whether it's linked to the scams, and it seems that they are. So the police and the foreign ministry here in South Korea, they believe that she visited Vietnam. So she was staying in Cambodia, but visited Vietnam, allegedly under directives of a criminal gang in Cambodia and died in the process of coming back. And then also for the larger picture regarding these criminal gangs, reports also say that due to the recent spike in media attention and government action, these criminal gangs have begun to relocate to border areas and even to other countries. And those with knowledge into what's going on the scene, they say either entire rings are moving or at least are kind of plucking out and relocating South Korean nationals. Right, so that is quite disturbing, concerning, but it also seems like South Korean nationals are actively involved in the process. So it is a very complicated story.
Yes, indeed. Well, it seems like this case is expanding internationally with the U.S. now getting involved too.
Right. So, and I did see a question on our board a couple days ago about, is this really only restricted to South Korea? All these scams, job scams, and voice phishing?
Right.
It is not, actually. In the U.S., UK, really anywhere in the world, these voice phishings, phone and text message scams have become an industry in and of themselves.
That's right.
So it seems that the United States and the United Kingdom, they've been looking into a similar criminal group that's running these scams. So 2 Chinese men have been sanctioned by the U.S. and the UK governments. Shen Zi and Qui Wei Ren were the masterminds behind these centers, not only in Cambodia, but in Myanmar as well, to con people into tricking them into coming and working for them through these fake romance and cryptocurrency scams.
Right.
The U.S. Department of Justice said it's also filed its biggest civil forfeiture complaint against Bitcoin worth about $15 billion that were profits from these fraud cases.
Yes. So obviously, once again, not just about South Korea. Well, for now, let's move on to some other news. We're going to talk about the special counsel investigations into former President Yoon Suk-yeol's administration.
Right. So we're going to focus specifically on the Cho Eun-suk Special Counsel, which focuses on the insurrection trials and the charges.
Yes.
So they yesterday summoned ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol as a suspect. Yoon actually did appear for questioning voluntarily, saying that he is doing so to make it easier on the prison wardens, the officials, whom after they have had those struggles back in August, trying to get him out of the cell, with him vehemently refusing to do so. However, although he was at the headquarters of the special counsel, he remained silent, refused to answer questions during the 8-hour session.
Okay.
So for these particular charges, because if you remember, ex-President Yoon is currently standing trial. However, new charges, he faces allegations of inciting foreign aggression by allegedly dispatching drones to North Korea ahead of the December 3rd martial law declaration.
Right. As this is going on, though, the special counsel failed to secure arrest warrants into two prominent figures in the Yoon administration.
Right. So this particular special counsel might be losing at least the same momentum they had a couple months ago. So the court recently turned down the arrest warrant request for former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo and former Justice Minister Park Sung-jae.
Right.
So ex-Interior Minister Lee Sang-min is the only attendee from the pre-martial law declaration cabinet meeting that is in detention.
Yes.
So in particular, what was kind of hitting for the council was that they had high hopes for Park Sung-jae's arrest because they had stipulated in the warrant request that Park had allegedly aided and abetted in the martial law declaration, and at least in the council's view, provided ample evidence to support this.
Right.
But clearly the courts did not see it this way. So those in the legal sphere say that what Park allegedly did on the night of martial law, that includes securing space in detention centers. That depends on how you explain it. That might be in line with the descriptions of his job. Also, he's been quite cooperative with the investigation, and that might be a reason.
Okay.
But this warrant rejection or rejections, they do force the council to kind of take a step back and reassess and regroup. The Jo Eun-suk Special Counsel has extended its investigation period on 2 separate occasions, so they are due to investigate until November 15th. At that point, they are allowed to extend their period for one more time. That'll get them to December.
Yes, of course. We're going to follow these stories connected, of course. Up next, let's talk about workplace bullying and how the system at some workplaces may be unresponsive to these ongoing struggles.
Right. So 3 out of 10 people who have experienced themselves or witnessed cases of workplace bullying didn't take any action, didn't report it, didn't talk to anyone, and 2 out of 10 left their work because of it. So, by the way, it's been 6 years since these anti-workplace bullying laws have gone into effect, but change is still slow to come. This is according to Labor Ministry data released by People Power Party lawmaker Kim Wi-sang. So this is a survey from last year of 1,000 workers. 288 said they've experienced or seen workplace bullying in the past year. The most prominent, though, in terms of victims were workers in their 30s in the 대리급, so assistant manager, like down more towards the lower end of the managerial positions.
Yes.
And over half the perpetrators, not surprisingly, superiors, although 38% reported bullying from their colleagues, so their peers on the same level, while 45% sought to work this through by talking to their colleagues. About a third said they didn't take any action because they were afraid of retribution or kind of this coming back on them in terms of criticism. Well, what's wrong with you? That kind of thing. And also there not being sufficient action taken against the perpetrators of workplace bullying.
Right. So those are the numbers, but what might the problem within the system be?
Right. So why are these people kind of losing hope against the system before they start? That's because what defines workplace bullying is still very vague. Because if you yell, "What's wrong with you?" If you yell, "What's wrong with you?" after I, for example, made a serious mistake on my work, that could be construed as work-related.
Okay.
But if you just flat out yell at me, "What's wrong with you?" like as a human, then that's workplace bullying. But then, where do you draw the line?
Sure.
Was there a piece of paper in front of you as you were yelling, "What's wrong with you?" So this is very vague. The definition of work versus non-work is subjective to also whether you're the person yelling or getting yelled at employer versus employee.
Yes.
It's very complicated. There's also been criticism over low levels of governmental support because about 30% of respondents said that they don't know what's going on in terms of the workplace bullying prevention programs by the government, the reporting systems, and what the local labor office does.
So I guess there are still a lot of kinks to be worked out in the system. But thanks for reporting on this. We're going to move on to some international news. U.S. President Donald Trump sees Argentinian President Javier Milei as a good friend. So much so that he is leveraging aid to Argentina over this relationship.
Right. So Donald Trump said on Tuesday local time that the U.S. could cut the $20 billion financial lifeline, this huge aid to Argentina, if Javier Milei loses the midterm elections later this month.
Right.
So Milei is a libertarian president and a big ally of Donald Trump's. He was visiting the White House to seek this support. And Trump said, and I quote, "If Milei loses, we are not going to be generous with Argentina," and said that he agreed with this man because his philosophy is correct. And Trump also hailed Milei as a great leader, MAGA all the way. In this case, this would be Make Argentina Great Again.
So what has Trump promised for Argentina?
Right. So what is going on?
Yes.
Why is the U.S. offering $20 billion? Well, we've covered this. Argentina has been struggling majorly economically.
Yes.
It has a huge liquidity, so cash flow problem, has huge debts, and it's already had to spend over $1 billion to defend the currency, the peso, because it's been plummeting. So the Trump administration pledged this $20 billion in aid, but this pledge has actually failed to calm the markets in the midterm to longer term beyond the short spike. So it hasn't really helped with poll numbers for Milei ahead of the October 26th upcoming elections. It also marked, as you can probably guess, a rare instance of direct U.S. intervention in Latin America currency markets.
Yes.
But interestingly, let's take a little bit of a step back. This decision may not just be U.S.-Argentina relationships. We're going to throw China into the picture. Because before Milei took power, Argentina, which is a major lithium producer, key element, has been deepening its ties with China. So Trump might be getting into that new Cold War order.
Full circle, all connected.
Always is.
Well, thank you so much for bringing us the top news for this morning. And of course, we'll check in with you in hour number 2. So thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, we are due for our first song break. So, it does look like it's kind of subsiding, at least in Centum, the rain, but still nonetheless, Paris in the Rain by Lauv.
All I know is we could go anywhere, we could do anything, girl, whatever the mood we're in. Yeah, all I know is getting lost late at night under stars, finding love standing right where we are. Your lips, they pull me in the moment, you and I alone, and people may be watching. I don't mind, 'cause anywhere with you feels right. Anywhere with you feels like Paris in the rain, Paris in the rain. We don't need a fancy town or bottles that we can't pronounce, 'cause anywhere, babe, it's like Paris in the rain. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, Paris in the rain, Paris in the rain. I look at you now and I want this forever. I might not deserve it, but there's nothing better. Don't know how I ever did it all without you. My heart is about to jump out of my chest. Feelings, they come and they go, that they do. Feelings, they come and they go, not with you. Late nights and the street lights and the people look at me, girl, and the whole world could stop. Anywhere with you feels right. Anywhere with you feels like Paris in the rain, Paris in the rain. We don't need a fancy town or bottles that we can't pronounce, 'cause anywhere, babe, it's like Paris in the rain. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, with you feels like Paris in the rain, Paris in the rain. Walking down an empty street, puddles underneath our feet.
It is now time for Ask Dr. Ryu. Dr. Ryu Sang-hyo, he's in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning. It's raining outside.
I know, and you were mentioning how you enjoy the rain, right?
Yeah, I love raining. I don't know, but I didn't like raining when I was young.
Right.
But as I get older, I get to like raining.
I like the rain if I'm indoors, not driving, not walking. If I'm indoors, I love the sound of it. And there's a certain smell that's emitted when it rains, right?
That's right.
And when I was younger, I hated that smell, but now it's kind of like I'm okay with it. 그러니까 안에서 그 막 포근하고 when you're like like nice and cozy, it's okay.
Yeah,
but when you're driving,
that's right.
it's terrible.
Same here.
Yes, yes. Well, text topic before we jump in.
Okay, what is that?
Who do you go to vent or to pour out your heart out to?
Is our text topic?
Yeah, that's our text topic. Who do you confide in?
I used to confide in to many friends or family members, but these days I don't know. I just turn to God. That's all.
Oh, okay. To a higher being.
Yeah. The more I talk to somebody else about and then vent to my frustration, I think I tend to experience some kind of aftermath of it because the talking runs itself.
Oh.
So
right.
I don't want to.
Okay, no. I fully get you. And other people on the board also saying like, some of them tend to be kind of more introspective.
Oh, that's right.
They talk to themselves or they kind of handle it on their own. So I guess for different folks, like different strokes, right?
Oh, you know what? Something just came across.
Oh.
Sometimes I vent to my frustration to my personal AI.
Oh, AI. It's a very common thing. Yes, many people do, right?
Okay.
Well, what's our topic for today?
Okay, today's topic is about superbugs.
Superbugs. Not like super like 바퀴벌레. We're talking about superbugs like viruses, bacteria?
Yes, bacteria.
Yeah, bacteria, right?
Yeah, because superbugs means there's no medicine, there's no antibiotics for this one. So.
Yes. So we're talking about these superbugs that are bacteria. And so what about antibiotics? Antibiotics like 항생제?
Yeah,
they don't work?
항생제. Yeah, they don't work. That's right. Superbacteria.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a major issue, right?
That's right, major issues. Because let's say that if bacteria are resistant to any big antibiotics,
yes,
there's no medicine for this one.
Not good.
Yeah.
And so, is this true? I think I read somewhere that South Korea's antibiotic usage is among the highest of like all the OECD nations. And I have to say, like when I first came to Korea, I was kind of surprised at like how frequently people visit clinics or how easily antibiotic prescriptions were handed out. So am I imagining it or is it true?
Is it true? Because there are several reasons.
Okay.
I brought three main reasons. In Korea, antibiotics have long been prescribed even for viral illnesses like colds and sore throats. Of course, antibiotics in that case don't work at all.
Because antibiotics are for... not for viruses.
Not for viruses. It's
right.
for bacteria.
Bacteria, right.
Yeah, that's right. 예, 균을 죽이는 거죠. Not 바이러스를 죽이는 게 아니라
네.
항생제. And also people often expect a stronger medicine. So doctors sometimes feel really pressured.
But I hear though, like from people around me, like, 여기 가니까 좀 약을 세게 줘준다. Like they like it, because they want to get better quicker, right?
That's right.
Yes.
But it doesn't have any scientific background because antibiotics, if they have let's say that if you get a flu.
Yes.
Flu means virus.
Yes.
Virus is supposed to be staying in our body for a certain time. Like, let's say that regular flu stays in our body for 5 days, for instance. And if you go to one clinic and they prescribe some medicine for 3 days.
Yes.
And then your symptoms are not supposed to go away.
Right.
Because the virus is supposed to be staying in our body for 5 days.
Okay.
Then you go to another clinic and then and then that's fourth day, and then your symptoms don't go away, and then you take medicine for 2 days, and then you are not satisfied with this because your symptoms still linger in your body.
Sure.
And then you go to next one, and that's the time when your virus is about to leave.
Yes.
And then you think that, that clinic prescribed the right medicine. That is the real doctor.
That's a good point that you make. I'm glad that you pointed that out. So don't fall into that trap, listeners, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Don't be doctor shopping.
Yeah, doctor shopping. Yeah, that's right. And also, some studies in clinics and pharmacies prescriptions may not always be tightly monitored. It's another thing.
Yes.
And also, shifting antibiotics, it puts a risk of developing resistant strain of bacteria.
Yes, and so let's talk about that. Why is resistance so dangerous? Because when they do become resistant, the bacteria, how does that affect real life treatment?
Let's say that if a resistant bacteria infects someone, the usual antibiotics won't work.
Okay.
In that case, doctors must try stronger and more toxic, more expensive drugs, which means longer hospital stays,
yes,
and higher medical costs, and even severe cases, death.
Ooh.
Especially dangerous for elderly and immune-compromised people and children.
Yeah, so, it sounds quite serious, right? What you're talking about right now, having, bacteria that might be resistant to the antibiotics. So I also remember reading something about the WHO, World Health Organization, calling antibiotic resistance one of the top 10 threats to global health. So
exactly, that's right.
This is major.
Yeah, so WHO warned that without action, we could enter post-antibiotic era where routine surgeries, infections could once again be very fatal.
Okay.
Imagine minor cuts can be deadly.
Oh, now you're scaring us a little. So I don't want it to be all doom and gloom, right? So we want to bring you some good news as well, right? So the Korea Disease Control Agency, the KDCA, I hear started a pilot program last year to promote appropriate antibiotic use. Is that correct?
That's right. For those who don't know about pilot has nothing to do with the crew member in a cockpit. Anyhow,
they're testing something out. It's new.
It's new. And then it's called ASP, Antibiotic Stewardship Program. And hospitals participate and they assign trainee specialists to review antibiotic prescriptions. So they check whether the antibiotics are truly necessary.
Yes.
Or what type is best and how long it should be used.
Well, we do want to hear about, do we have any of the early results? What do they show?
Yeah, it was very promising. Every hospital in the program now runs a restricted antibiotic system, which means certain strong drugs can be only used under review. In contrast, only about half of non-participating hospitals do that. So they also encourage doctors to switch to narrower and safer antibiotics once lab results come back. Let me give you an example. Let's say that if I see a patient who presents with some cold, like pneumonia symptoms, doctors prescribe empirical antibiotics in that case. There are different kinds of germs, like gram-positive germs and gram-negative germs and Arabic germs, all kinds of germs. So let's say the A antibiotics is working on A germ, and B antibiotic is working on B germ. So doctors know in the first place. So we prescribe antibiotics empirically, and then we run some blood tests and then phlegm culture tests, and then the test. Kare test.
Okay.
And it tells us that what kind of an infection is bothering this patient.
Okay.
So in that case, this patient is contracting this B bacterium, so that's why we prescribe antibiotics targeting to that specific antibiotic. But just irrelevant antibiotics can increase the risk of resistance problems.
Right. And so in terms of even the differences between that I noticed personally, this is anecdotal, meaning this is my personal observance. In the States, it could have changed, but as when I lived there for over 30 years, I rarely went to see a doctor unless something was like bleeding profusely, like it was an emergency, I had to go to the emergency room, or somebody had a broken bone. Like, I never went to the doctor for the common cold, because usually you could just go to a pharmacy and then they have rows upon rows of like cold medicine, but you have to be able to distinguish your symptoms because it's written on there like fever and cough, fever, cough, and then they have runny nose, and like every single brand has like 10 different types of cold medicine.
That's right.
You got to read through the symptoms, and then you take it to the counter and ask nicely, because the pharmacist is usually very cranky, and you say, is this the right medicine? 아니, 진짜 눈치 보면서 물어봐야 돼요. 왜냐면 they handle so many sick people. And, is this correct? And they're like, read the label. It's literally what they said, right? And then I came to Korea and I was just like, oh, everybody's so nice. And they prescribe you medicines for every little symptom. And like, it was just like a culture change and shock for me.
That's right.
Yes.
Korea is famous for kindness and generosity.
Lots of medicine.
Lots of medicine.
And it's not that expensive
Yeah,
because you have health insurance,
very,
right?
Very affordable.
Yes.
So the downside of it, because it's so accessible and it's pretty much it's very cheap compared to other countries, advanced countries. So that's why we have this kind of issue.
Yes, yes. So, what would you say in terms of your final thoughts for our listeners today? Because I know that our listeners or waivers out there, they're smart people. They're tuning in every day. They are in the know. But about antibiotics for 항생제, what do we need to know?
Okay, there are 3 rules. Let me put it this way. First, don't demand antibiotics for a cold flu or coughs or some minor viral infections.
Yes.
And also, I want you to finish the course if antibiotics are prescribed. That's really important. It's not only it not only applies to antibiotics but also anti-TB medication.
Okay.
Speaking of TB, tuberculosis, 결핵, here in Korea, we have the highest TB tuberculosis incidence rate. And then I remember exactly the young lady. Actually, she is 18 or 19-year-old girl who was infected with TB, and then she was supposed to finish the course for taking anti-TB medication for a year. But her symptoms went away after taking 2 months of anti-TB medication. She stopped it, and then TB kind of recurrent hit her again, and also she took the medicine and then went away. But she stopped frequently, and finally the germ that's in her body, TB, was all drug resistant. So all the doctors in the ICU, she was really cute, but I could see a walking skeleton, and then she was just waiting for her death.
Oh my gosh.
So and then she died in the end. But
she did? She died?
Yeah, she died.
Because she didn't finish her course, the entire course of the medicine for tuberculosis?
That's right. That's why she knew that she would die in the end. So I couldn't get it out of my mind. The exact the scene, her eyes, and she knew that she would die in maybe 3 or 4 months, because all the way doctors say, "I'm sorry, we don't have any medication that are working on your body."
There's nothing more we can do.
No, nothing, because that's the danger. Okay, it's kind of a gloomy story, but there's a way we can turn it back, and then we can improve our antibiotic kind of a situation. So stick to your schedule. Finish the full course if antibiotics are prescribed, and also never share leftover antibiotics. That's another common issue in Korea.
정말요. This is like so real and so true. You've heard someone say, "Oh, do you have any like 항생제?" The answer should always be no. If you think you need, go to a doctor. Make sure you get checked out to see if you really need the antibiotics.
That's right.
And then, as Dr. Liu just said, if you are prescribed antibiotics, finish the full course. If it's for 5 days, even if you feel better on day 3, finish it until the very end, right?
That's right. So before I go, I'm going to wrap it up by saying this one. The greatest medicine of all is to teach people how not to need it.
Preventive,
and also you gotta know when to stop.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, thank you for bringing us this dose of antibiotics, what we need to know. And of course, we look forward to next week as well with you, Dr. Liu.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everybody. This was Ask Dr. Liu. And I hope that we can all take a page out of his antibiotic page today. We're going to go to our final song for hour number 1. This is Wind and Wish by B2B.
내 맘을 전해줘 저 멀리 그대에게 닿도록 내 바람이 스칠 때 행복을 느낄 수 있게 긴 하루의 끝에 또 너를 생각해 오늘 넌 어떻게 하루를 보냈을까 시간은 빠르게 도는데 여전히 내 맘은 똑같아 넌 별일 없기를 오늘도 바래
행복하고 잘 지내길 바래 진심이야 I'm not lying 맘을 담아 너를 응원해 To your future endeavors yeah. 우리 happily ever after 바람과 사라졌지만 yeah. I still wish you the best Cause I love whenever you smile
내 맘을 전해줘 저 멀리 그대에게 닿도록 내 바람이 스칠 때 행복을 느낄 수 있게 Everybody say 어딘가 모르게 그래도 행복해 괜찮아 모든 게 아름답던 우리 추억이 꽤 힘이 되곤네 yeah, 너도 그러길 오늘도 바래 I wish
yeah, 내가 그리울 때 눈을 감아 살랑살랑 두뺨을 간지럽히는 바람 어느새 꽤 걸린 입꼬리 산뜻하게 널거림 homie nobody say say for better day no yeah 숨결을 느낄 때 다시 나갈 수가 있게
넌 계속 행복해져 늘 그렇게 빛나줘 너의 바람 느껴지려 웃을 수 있게
0877 051 784-0877.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back to hour number 2. This is Morning Wave in Busan, and we begin with Spotlight News. South Korea issues travel ban on Cambodia's Bokor Mountain region. The Foreign Ministry yesterday issued a level 4 travel ban on Cambodia's Bokor Mountain region in Kampot province and in the cities of Bavet and Poipet. The level 4 travel ban is the highest in the 4-scale travel warning system, and those who visit or stay in the areas may be penalized under the Passport Act. The authorities also raised the travel warning to level 3 for Cambodia's Sihanoukville province, urging South Koreans to leave the region. All of Seoul designated as speculative zones. The government has designated the remaining 21 districts in Seoul as speculative zones, imposing tougher loan regulations for the entirety of Seoul as its latest attempt to curb housing prices. Effective starting today, mortgages will be capped at 400 million won for homes appraised at 1.5 billion to 2.5 billion won and 200 million won for homes valued at over 2.5 billion won. This comes just a month after its last real estate policy announcement, as Seoul's apartment prices have been on a steep incline in recent months, fueling speculative demand. South Korea and U.S. trade talk results may be imminent. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that Seoul and Washington can resolve their differences over the $350 billion investment pledge, giving a 10-day estimate for results of the deal to be announced. U.S. President Donald Trump later in the day, however, again mentioned that the agreement with South Korea and Japan involved the two countries paying the investment pledge up front during a White House briefing. South Korean Foreign Minister Gu Yun-chol, who is currently in the U.S. for trade talks, said that the two countries are at a fast-paced coordination stage, hinting that progress is being made. Stocks soared to a record high of 3,000 trillion won market cap. South Korea's benchmark stock index Kospi reached an all-time new high yesterday, surpassing the 3,650 milestone for the first time, with total market capitalization exceeding 3,000 trillion won or 3 quadrillion won for a new record. The Kospi ended the day at 3,657.28 on the back of aggressive investments from foreign traders, especially concentrated in the semiconductor sector. A pause in the U.S.-China trade conflict, expectations for the U.S. Federal Reserve's rate cut, and Seoul's real estate policy announcement all seem to have stoked investor sentiments. Friction builds in Gaza ceasefire over body exchange. Tensions are building in the Gaza ceasefire as Hamas handed over the bodies of 2 more hostages Wednesday night local time. But Israel is growing frustrated over the speed of the return of the remains. Hamas said it has handed over all the remains it was able to find, but that it needs special equipment to recover the remaining 21 bodies in the ruins of Gaza. In the meantime, U.S. President Donald Trump said he would consider approving Israel to resume military action if Hamas does not return the bodies, saying that Israeli forces could return to Gaza as soon as he says the word. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for Waggle Waggle. Haley's back in the studio. Welcome back.
Let's waggle.
Yes, yes. So we have some tech updates for the first couple of Waggle stories, starting with the famous or infamous Kakao Talk update.
So the country's top messenger app, the yellow app, Kakao Talk's latest update, if you remember, amongst us too, in our waivers, incited a lot of responses, complaints from the grid type, the feed feature that's very reminiscent of other social media platforms in lieu of the full friends list.
Yes.
And then having your entire Kakao profile history in full view.
Right.
Nobody wants to see my face from 20 years ago. Other problems with the shorts option, the ads and how minors were indiscriminately exposed to whatever shorts were out there.
Yes.
So if you remember, again, after less than a week of so much uproar, Kakao announced that it would make changes to the next round of updates to kind of take these back. Here's the thing now. Now, according to Vice President of Kakao, Yoo Young-gyu, he's told the parliament that fully rolling back the updates, so in layman's terms, taking them back, is impossible, is technologically impossible.
Really? Okay.
I don't know. But is it? I guess so.
Okay.
So for those of you, I know you held off on getting your updates. Are you still?
I did until my sister was like, didn't you update your phone yet? Like, she said it in a way that was like...
Shaming?
Yeah, she was shaming me. She's like, you didn't press update yet? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Luddite. Yeah.
And then I smacked her on the arm.
That eye roll was so real.
Yes.
But for maybe some people are still holding off on it. So according to Kakao, officially, you can use them, the old version. However, of course, you may have problems with warranty or other services. So please keep that in mind.
Okay.
But as for the reason why they cannot completely roll back the updates. There's been speculation accusing Kakao of refusing to do so because they want to make that ad revenue.
Oh.
Well, Vice President Wu said this is not true. But then regarding the exposure of shorts to underage minors, Wu stated that Kakao follows the guidelines on the personal, as provided by the Personal Information Protection Commission on users 14 and under.
Okay, so we might not get the rollback.
You might not. We'll see.
All right. We're going to move on to ChatGPT's upcoming update. The chatbot is going to be able to offer some, is this true? That kind of adult content? That adult?
Adult with a,
19금 adult?
19, the 19/ or the rated R. So OpenAI CEO, so this comes from the man himself, Sam Altman, announced that ChatGPT will offer a wider range of content, including erotica, for verified adults. And I'm already seeing in our chat board how people are consulting ChatGPT for their issues. So this is an interesting usage of this chatbot. And it's very complicated. But in a post on social media, Altman said that the upcoming versions of the chatbot coming December would enable it to act in more of a human-like way. It'll have a fuller age restriction and allow for erotica to be made available to verified adults. So he explained that so far, OpenAI has made ChatGPT on purpose to be fairly restrictive. They wanted to take a careful approach on mental health issues.
Right.
However, they realized that for those who do not have such mental health issues, the current chatbot could be less useful and less enjoyable. So they're making it more fun, more useful, at least in their words.
Okay.
So they're of the position that with the new tools in their arsenal, they can rein in these mental health issues to at least a certain extent.
And this is because there have been some serious accusations levied against ChatGPT.
Right. And you could argue, depending on whom you ask, well, have they been restricted enough? Do they really have these tools to address mental health concerns? Because, for example, recently the parents of an American teenager, they sued ChatGPT for wrongful death for their 16-year-old son taking his own life after speaking to the chatbot about suicidal thoughts.
Yes.
And it didn't really guide him to talk to his parents. So critics say that going back to this whole erotica issue, the decision to allow such content on the platform, it shows perhaps the need for more regulation at federal and state levels.
Yes. So that's pretty major in terms of updates.
I'm just saying kids have been known to bypass the age restrictions.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
All right, moving on. Some people dream of retiring, somewhere in the countryside to maybe a standalone house. That sounds so nice. With a garden, maybe. But there is new research that's made correlations between your housing and how long you may have to live.
Yeah,
Really?
your life expectancy, perhaps.
Really?
I do want to get our input from our waivers. Post-retirement. During your retirement, post-job. Like, where do you want to live? Are you like the 귀촌? Do you want to go to the countryside? Do you want to stay in the city? Do you want to live in a house? Do you want to garden? Yeah, thoughts. I want to know. But here's research that might help you sway one way or another. This is from Japan. It showed that living in a standalone house, so 주택, could increase your risk of death from cardiovascular diseases.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
interesting.
again, this is a correlation, not a causality. We obviously didn't have control groups.
Yes.
But this is from Science Tokyo published research. It tracked 39,000 seniors across 6 years in this large scale, it's called a cohort research. So those who lived in public housing apartments or in houses, standalone homes, they had higher rates of death from cardiovascular disease compared to people who lived in apartments, for example. Why? Well, researchers have pointed the reason to temperature control. Your indoor temperature, 실내 온도.
Okay.
Because if you've ever lived in a standalone house, that the heating bill goes up there, right? Because the walls are exposed to the elements from all
cold.
sides. like 다 외벽이잖아요.
네.
And the insides of your home could get colder and unstable unless you really do want to pay an arm and a leg for the heating bill. So researchers therefore proposed improving home insulation to protect the population because especially this trend was prominent amongst males.
So this does have scientific merit, right?
It does. So according to the World Health Organization back in 2018, they released a report saying that cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks and even strokes, they do happen more frequently in colder environments, including cold homes. That's why, by the way, winter is kind of coming, especially in the earlier hours. You don't want to go out and exercise if you have high blood pressure or other underlying health issues because the cold is known to increase your blood pressure.
Yes.
So the Japanese government also officially recognized the housing environment as a social health factor in your lifespan.
Okay.
So they recommend, by the way, the recommended indoor temperature by the World Health Organization is at least 18 degrees Celsius or 64 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, and for some people that might seem even cold. That seems cold.
Right.
All right.
Can we read the little birdie message?
The little birdie.
Yeah.
호텔에서 살고 싶어요. So our producer, our little birdie, Tweety, wants to live in a 5-star hotel. 누구는 안 그러고 싶을까?
Cat is sassy today.
I mean,
love it.
come on. Like, who
When
does
it's not being
it?
doled out to me.
I want like full service. I want laundry and maid service, like all of that.
Yeah, on our
and
public radio salary.
And then 고수님 says, 저는 시골은 못 살겠어요. 저녁 7시 되면 시커먼 느낌이 무서운데요. For me, I want everything to be convenient, just like Tweety Bird. I want it at my fingertips. I don't want to have to work. I don't want to have to dig for my food. I'm just saying, some people enjoy like gardening.
Seems exhausting.
Too much work for me.
I'll go to park.
We're going to end with President Donald Trump and a hot mic moment from the Gaza Peace Summit.
Well, hot mic, or he just turned around from the mic and made these comments. All right, so we're going to go back to Egypt. On Monday, there was a Gaza Peace Summit. Leaders from 20 nations were there, including, of course, yes, President Donald Trump. He was one of the co-hosts. So if you remember, interesting scene. Trump stood in front of the podium.
Yes.
And then had the other world leaders kind of as, like, it almost seemed like his entourage.
It was like behind.
They were like fully behind him and took the mic, lauding his achievements and declaring peace for the Middle East. And then an interesting moment. So we're going to go to the woggly aspects, these B-sides of him acknowledging some of the leaders in a very Trumpian fashion.
Okay.
So he made an offhand comment to the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. He called her a beautiful and young woman. Right. So he asked her, actually, he was like, do you mind if I called you beautiful? And then said, Trump is not allowed to say this because it's usually the end of your political career, implying to the United States, if you say she's a beautiful young woman. And then this kind of became a jumping off point for him to criticize what he perceives as political correctness in the United States. The wokeness, right?
Yes.
He has declared a war against being woke. Weirdly enough, Meloni, I mean, she is a very eye-catching leader. I mean, just statistically, female leaders.
Exactly.
Rare. She is young. She does younger. Excuse me. Yes, younger. And then she does. She's charismatic in her. She's very attention-getting in her own ways. So she's been subject of attention from Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who was seen advising Meloni to give up smoking. This was a hot mic moment. And he said, and this is that like appearance thing again, you look great to the prime minister, but I have to make you stop smoking. She smiled, she played it off. She said, I know. And then other remarks, let's go back to Trump, to other world leaders. He called Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada President Mark Carney. And Carney also took it humorously, said thanks for the promotion. Trump said, oh, did I? At least I didn't call you governor. Yeah, there's that. There's that response because he has tried to make Canada the 51st state. To the very famous figure we know him as Mansour, right? The United Arab Emirates Vice President, Deputy Prime Minister. I have to get to his full name, Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. He said Mansour has unlimited cash.
Well,
he
I mean,
is one of the closer people to having guessed that's not untrue.
Right.
He does have a net worth estimated to be around $30 billion. Owns, I don't know, many things, including the Manchester City Football Club. But it's just a really interesting way to address a fellow leader. So
interesting.
There's that.
We're going to leave that there, all the woggly news. And of course, we'll check in with you tomorrow. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Have a great day.
Bye, Haley. It's time for your updated traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic update at 8:16 on this Thursday morning. There are 2 accidents to report on. First up, on the Namhae Expressway, lane number 2, going toward Busan right around the Changyu ramp. Also, another accident on Baegang Gwanmunro from Baegang Tunnel Ogi intersection to the tunnel right past that intersection. It's backed up on Gwanmundaero from Sujang Tunnel to Pier number 5. There's congestion on Pyeongno from Daean Tunnel to Gwangan Tunnel. And there's traffic on Gayadero from Kaegum intersection to Jure intersection. Currently it's 19 degrees Celsius and in some parts raining. And right now, we're getting reports that in some areas it has stopped and other areas it's still raining. So this is going to be on and off throughout the day with a daytime high going up to 23 degrees today. Across the nation, lots of rain. However, in the capital area, the weather forecasters are saying that the rain will stop in parts of the capital area and Gangwon by this morning. And Gyeongsang, Jeju, they'll see rain throughout the afternoon. Strong winds, thunder, and lightning are expected in the southern parts of the country. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for a special interview. Do you know that on October 16th, which happens to be today, the world marks World Food Day, first established by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization to highlight the importance of food security and nutrition. So today, at least here in Korea and in many parts of the world, we live in abundance and we do love food as well. But it's also easy for us to take food for granted. For Korea's older generations, especially those who grew up in the 1960s or even earlier, even a simple piece of bread was once a rare luxury. The 2025 World Food Forum, which kicked off under the theme Hand in Hand for Better Foods and a Better Future, reminds us not only of how far we've come, but also the power of working together to end hunger for good. So joining us today is Professor Gary Bernisky, Assistant Director for Program Development and Academic Director for the Mandela Washington Fellows Program. He's in the Office of International Programs in Agriculture at Purdue University. He's a specialist in global food security and international agriculture. Hi, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate having the invitation and an opportunity to speak with you and the listeners.
Yes. The pleasure is all ours, Professor. Can you tell us in a nutshell, what does food or World Food Day represent? I gave a brief intro, but from your own words, why is it such an important occasion to the global community?
Okay, first of all, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization was created in 1945 on October 16th. And so in 1979, in order to commemorate the creation of the FAO, what happened was the UN declared October 16th as World Food Day. Now, what that means is that it means that we should all be aware of the importance of food and that there are many people in this world that do not have access to safe, healthy food and go to bed hungry every night. So we need to remind ourselves, especially those that are in countries that have access to rich, nutritious foods, that there are others that do not have it. Just as what you mentioned, that in Korea, many years ago,
yes,
people were food insecure, right? And now South Korea is a very food secure country, and people forget. So the United Nations wants to remind everyone, particularly those of us that live in developed countries that have abundant food availability, that there are people that are really, really hungry.
Yes. And so, of course, on this occasion, the 2025 World Food Forum kicked off on the 13th local time in Rome under the theme Hand in Hand for Better Foods and a Better Future. So what is this theme about? What is it aiming to convey to the rest of the world?
Well, so there's different parts of this, right? So hand in hand means that we need to collaborate together in order to address food insecurity, right? And so actually, in order for a population to be food secure, you need to meet 4 pillars. And that's availability, access, utilization, and stability. And if all those food four pillars are not met in terms of food for populations, food for people to eat, then they will be food insecure. Okay? And so we also have to look at another part of that, and that is better food. Okay? So on one hand, we can have an abundance of what we call calorie-dense food that doesn't necessarily have all the nutrition for you to be very food secure, right? And so micronutrients are available particularly in fruits and vegetables. So that other part reminds us that we're not talking about just any old food, but we're talking about healthy, nutritious food.
Yes.
And just one thing else is that we know that there's a double burden in many countries. So obesity is on the rise because people aren't paying attention to their diets and they're eating these calorie-dense foods that don't have all the nutrition that they need. And so that causes a whole range of health issues, as we know. So that other component is important because we, as food security specialists, recognize that it's not just hunger that's an issue, but obesity is becoming a more prominent issue globally.
Yes, yes. Thanks for explaining, especially the four pillars, Professor. Looking at, once again, the theme, I mean, hand in hand, as you pointed out, cooperation, collaboration, they seem to be a key part of this year's theme. So what kind of partnerships or community efforts have proven to be most effective in improving food security?
Well, we must collaborate first in order to ensure that we have peace, okay? And people forget that in conflict environments, that really promotes food insecurity because people can't get access. They can't grow it. They can't go to the store or go to markets to buy it. So we need to collaborate to ensure there's peace. I just think that's important in today's world because there's so many ongoing conflicts at the moment. And that's having a big impact on global food security. But secondly, the distribution of wealth globally is not equal. As we know, there are many countries that are high-income countries that have lots of food available. But there are countries that are low income that do not have food available. So what we need to do is those of us who are in richer countries need to ensure that our governments and our businesses and our civic sector collaborate together to ensure that food can be made available to those who live in environments that are very food insecure in lower income countries. So that collaboration needs to happen in order for that food to be made available to those who really need it.
Yes, yes. And what about things like climate change? Because obviously we talked about the conflict part, that there needs to be peace in order for there to be ways to get food to people who might need it. But climate change, this also might disrupt food systems in many parts of the world. So how are global and local actors responding to make these systems more durable, more resilient?
Well, there's a two-prong approach. One is building resilience, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the other part is also concerned with mitigation. Okay? So on the resilience side, of course, we do have a lot of technologies that can make our food systems more resilient, especially on the production side. We have drought-resilient seeds that can also withstand high heat and flooding. So we get these weather extremes, and our crops have to be able to, on one hand, maybe this month, be able to cope with the lack of rainfall, and then 3 weeks later, there's a flood. And so we are developing the what we call seed technologies that go into our different crops that help our our production systems withstand these extreme weather events.
Yes.
On the mitigation side, I think is really important because agriculture gets a bad rap for emitting a lot of greenhouse gases, and it does. So, there's a lot of things we can do to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases from our farming systems.
Yes.
And I'll give an example. Paddy rice, because there's anaerobic decomposition of organic materials beneath that water. And when you take that water off, that methane goes right up into the air. But now we have agronomic practices, that is farming practices, that we can alter the way that we use water in rice production, which is very important in Korea, by the way.
Yes.
So that we can reduce the amount of methane emitted. So these are some of the advances that we are making in our research institutions. And of course, our education shares that knowledge with everyone.
Right. And for the people who are still facing hunger and food insecurity in many parts of the world, what do you consider, Professor, the most important strategy to address this issue?
Well, certainly education is, in my book, number one, especially being a professor in a university. We believe that education informs the way people act and the decisions that they make.
Sure.
We also think that capacity building is very important in order for our institutions to be able to provide information and knowledge. So on one hand, if we look at our farming systems,
Yes.
we wanted to make sure that the producers, the farmers, have access to information that can help them make good decisions and make their crops more productive, right?
Yes.
So that means we need to have that whole cycle of research that informs education, that informs our extension, right? In our food systems, again, through education, we need to make sure that people are making healthy choices in what they produce and what they eat.
Yes.
So we've got to have all that come together.
Well, lastly, what can individuals and local communities do? And that includes for people, in countries like South Korea, we've overcome food scarcity within a few generations. But what can we do to support the goals of World Food Day in our daily lives?
Okay, there's something that's very important, and that is reducing food waste. Okay, so in South Korea, as well as the rest of the world, about a third of the food that we produce is lost. It's wasted.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of things that, people in South Korea can do to stop that waste from occurring, right? Such as don't buy more than what you need.
Sure.
And when you have, a dinner or invite guests over, you don't have an overabundance of food, which is later thrown away. And, in restaurants and institutions that have things such as buffets can also be very careful in the way they produce and make that food available so they're not just putting out a lot of food that later ends up in the trash can. So that's one thing that can be done. And of course, I think it's important to educate our children, our young, about food security globally so that they are aware of first where our food comes from and that secondly not everyone has food available. So that making sure our generations that are coming up are really aware of what's going on around the globe.
Yes, well, thank you so much for joining us on this very special day as we mark World Food Day 2025. Thanks for all the great information and your opinions as well. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, and happy World Food Day, and enjoy the day.
Yes, to you as well. Once again, this was our special interview with Professor Gary Bernisky as we mark World Food Day 2025. And so this theme, once again, hand in hand for better foods and a better future, as the professor pointed out, things that we can do on a daily basis. And I've actually been trying to do this, and it's so hard. I've been trying to buy less groceries, fewer groceries. So I'm so used to, in Korea we say like 손이 크다. Like we kind of tend to overcook because, you know, that's our love language, is it not? To feed our loved ones with a lot of food. But I've been trying really hard to cut down on on groceries, not just for the money, but also to cut down on the food waste. Because I definitely don't like that feeling when there's too much waste as I'm emptying out the trash. So I think we can all do that. Well, we're going to take a song break as we think about this. Imagine by John Lennon.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, or brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
It's time for Buzz Breakdown. We have Vasana here. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, how are you?
I'm happy it's raining.
Yeah, you like the rain.
I like the rain, but I hate driving in Busan in the rain.
That's what I was saying earlier. I don't mind being indoors when it rains. I love the pitter-patter, the sounds of the rain falling.
Yes.
Even against the window, it's fine. And then driving, that's a whole nother beast.
Yes.
I really dislike it.
Do you want me to bore you with a word?
Yes.
Pluviophile.
What is pluviophile?
A person who loves rain.
Oh. Ooh, that's like an SAT word.
Now spell it.
Yes. Well, pluvio
No,
PLU.
I was just
okay.
joking.
Oh,
It was-
you were.
it was
I thought you were
rhetorical.
serious.
It was rhetorical.
Oh, you don't know the fact. I was like, I made it to state for a spelling bee, so I love spelling.
Oh, me too.
Yes. Well, who do you go to vent or to pour your heart out to? Let's be honest. What did you say when I asked you?
My piano.
Ah, you spill it all out
Yes,
there. Do you talk to your piano, or you talk with your fingers?
I talk with my fingers and write lyrics.
Lyrics.
And I record, sing. I've got all the recording equipment at home.
Lyrics.
And then, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm old school. And that's what today's breakdown is about.
Yes.
All these old comments. So it's because you keep things bottled up when people from the and before.
Right.
From the old times. We don't talk to anybody. We just bottle it in.
No, that's how you get issues. Don't bottle it in.
Oh, yes.
Well, we got to get into Buzz Breakdown. What do you have for us?
So this, today's one is one, actually, I want to be honest, is one I wanted to do last week. But because some people might not know who or what boomers and all those other terms were, I did that last week.
Yes.
So today I'm going to do some phrases that older people tend to use without thinking or realizing it is outdated, possibly outdated, and sometimes, maybe not sometimes, maybe more often than sometimes.
Yes.
How irritating they sound to younger people.
Oh.
And also, as we're going through them, give us some of your suggestions.
Yes.
And also whether you've heard this from your parents or whether you use it to your children if you have children.
Yeah, you might. You
Yes.
might be gonde and not even know. So. Okay.
So the first one I was just told has a really cool Korean equivalent. So it is, back in my day.
Oh, they have this in every language.
Yes.
라떼는 말이야.
Yes. Back in my day. So
Yes.
when I was younger, I used to use, and I still do use an older voice. Back in my day.
Like an old grandpa?
Yes.
I like the sound effect.
Excuse me. Usually it comes from a good place because we're trying to share experiences. But when you're talking to people and people hear it, they think, oh, here we go again.
I kick my roommate every time he does that.
Yeah.
Because I see my kids and they're trying so hard. My kids are good kids. They try so hard not to roll their eyes and be disrespectful.
Yes.
But I can see them rolling their eyes even when they're not rolling their eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because like they've heard it like one too many times. Like back in my day, when I was in college, when I was in high school, it's like there are different phrases that begin, but you know what's coming.
Yes.
Yeah, like a lesson.
Yep. So my son sometimes uses the phrase, when I was young.
When he is young.
And
when he was a baby, when I was a baby in diapers.
Which always makes me smile when he says, when I was young.
When I was young.
Yeah. So when I say when I was young, I can't say that. It was when I was younger. Well, I can say that. It's just younger sounds better than young.
Yes.
Makes you say old. Makes you
What
feel
is
old.
your son's reaction when you say, when I was young?
He listens.
Oh.
Yeah, he's still in the listening phase. I'm
that'll
waiting
change
for
quickly.
I'm waiting for the teenage
Soon.
years. Yeah.
Very soon.
Probably next year. Next one. Because I said so. Because I said so. So I would, when I was young,
Yes.
and I'd question my parents. And my parents would always say, because I said so. Why do I need to do that? Because I said so.
Yes.
So it was a very easy way to end an argument, a very easy way for them to not have to explain themselves. And it taught don't question authority. So as I said, I always got into trouble whenever this comment was used on me because if I did not see the logic,
yes,
then I would either question it or question it and not do it, which led to further consequences. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Sure. By the way, I need to take a quick pause and let people know that some people are experiencing or might be experiencing a delay on our YouTube channel. So if you are, we do, first of all, apologize. And you might have to switch to your radio or the BFM app. However, I do see the comments coming up right now.
Okay.
So for others, I guess it's not an issue. So I don't know if it's an in-house issue or other waivers are experiencing it. So you know what to do. Go to our other avenues of listening to us. And if not, just stay on our NoTube. All right. So let's go back.
Speaking of the radio.
Yes.
A couple of months ago, a student asked me, how do you use a radio?
And I keep on using you turn the radio dial. There is no dial anymore.
There's no dial anymore.
Buttons, right?
Yeah.
So that's so latte, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Latte Maria.
Yes. What is
the next
one?
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
That's so old.
That is very old.
We don't have bootstraps.
No.
Most of us don't wear boots.
So this has been around since cowboy days in America when they had bootstraps.
Uh-huh.
So basically...
what does it mean?
These days we just say suck it in. Suck it up, suck it in.
Suck it up. Yeah. We usually say suck it up. 그 요거 아니에요, by the way. It just means, get on with it.
Is this still bad language?
No, I don't think it is, but I don't want people to misunderstand any... Yeah.
Okay.
Like something sucks. Like it's nothing bad. If suck it up just means,
yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
Get on with it. It's okay.
Yep.
It's not a big deal.
Okay. Another one, kids these days.
Uh-huh.
So this is when you're talking to people, your peers.
Yes.
So kids these days.
Kids these days.
You just don't understand.
요즘 애들은. It's like how you would say it in Korean, which I don't know. I think that's at a point where you are a full adult.
Yes.
And you feel like, I am far removed from... Excuse me, did I spit? I'm spitting to the mic. I am far removed from childhood.
It's raining.
And it's raining cat spit. But yes, I'm far removed from my teenage years or my angst, all those years where you feel angst, right?
Yes. Yes. So the next one is if it ain't broke... don't fix it.
Yes.
So quite often I use this and I just say the first half because everybody knows the second half. Usually English speakers or native speakers. If it ain't broke,
yes,
and then you don't need to say the last bit.
Don't fix it. But you know what? Speaking of break, apparently our YouTube streaming, there is some sort of connectivity issue. So it's actually in the news right now, so we're not imagining it. So it's not just for our program, but I guess it's for across the board. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So bear with us.
So I didn't need to do my hair this morning.
I didn't need to wake up at 4:30 and do my makeup. No, of course I did.
Goodness.
But,
in those days, back in those days before we had TV. Yeah, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But unfortunately, it is broke this morning. So
it's not our fault, though.
No. So they need to fix it.
Yeah, fix it. Get on it.
Yes. The next one I smiled at when you were talking in the last segment about buying too much food.
Yes.
I use this phrase, money doesn't grow on trees.
And it really doesn't.
Yes.
And we used to drill this into our kids when they were younger. And yes, the trees have green leaves, but they're not money.
Oh, the leaves are brown.
Not green. 아니고. Meaning, basically, money is limited. It is not unlimited.
Not unlimited.
Yeah.
Yes. But our love is. Or is it?
That awkward pause was not because of NoTube. It was just me thinking. Of course, our love is unlimited for our certain family members. Yes.
For our children.
Sometimes.
Not roommates. Okay, so next one.
Yes.
Similar to back in my day when I was your age. So we don't really need to say that one. So the next one, you don't know how good you have it. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because, so basically when we were young, not basically, say that too often. When we were young,
yes,
no computers. Or you maybe, when I was young.
I had a computer. What are you talking about?
I'm looking at our producers over there. My goodness,
they're so young. They're so green.
They grew up with computers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And cell phones.
And smartphones.
And a TV.
You didn't have a TV? Sorry. Was yours color? It was a color TV, right?
When I was young, it was black and white.
No, it was not. Don't lie. Really?
New Zealand was way behind every other country.
Okay.
We had two.
I didn't mean to out Vasana.
We had two channels when I was young: Channel 1 and Channel 2.
In New Zealand? Are you serious?
I'm serious. And then when I was in high school, we finally got Channel 3. And then finally in university, which was the late 90s, we finally got cable.
Cable's good.
Yeah, and then we always had to go to the video store to get videos, rent videos if we wanted to watch a movie.
Oh, videos. Going to the video store.
Yeah.
I remember my dad used to say this once in a while because he would emphasize like, oh, I came from a poor family. I'm a self-made person. Yeah. And then he would talk about, I would traverse over mountains and hills in like snow boots, and it was snowing, but I still made it to school on time every day because I was like late once for school, literally once.
Yes.
And like he was lecturing me. And then I came to Korea, and then, I looked up my original parents' address.
Yes.
It's like 종로 6구, like smack in the middle of Seoul.
Of Seoul, yeah.
There's no mountain in the mountain.
No, there isn't.
종로 6구에 산 없어요. So I felt like so betrayed. And then so I mentioned it to my dad.
Oh, yes.
So I went to my dad and said, hey, I looked at our family registry and it says 종로 6가. That's like so like in the heart of central Seoul.
Yeah,
and he
no
goes,
mountains there.
맞아. 산은 없었어. There's no mountain to traverse.
Maybe he was just repeating what his father said to him.
I'm sure he
your
was. People exaggerate.
Yeah.
You don't know how good you have it. Yes. Okay. Next.
So yes, our kids these days don't know how good they have it. The next one was kind of similar to Because I Said So, but used in different situations.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. So this is not just for our parents. This is used often at work as well.
Yes.
It's kind of like, so what should I do? And they say, no, that's
just the way it is.
That's just the way it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like this phrase.
So this phrase comes out when we don't want to argue anymore, when there's nothing you can do about anything. When you want to end the conversation, it's blocking new ideas.
Yes.
It's blocking solutions to problems. Just live with it. Deal
live with
it.
But I don't like this one because I feel like there's always a way to fix it or go around, some unexpected events or curves in the road.
Yeah.
Except for this YouTube issue that is no fault of our own, but I do apologize once again.
It's just the way
because
it is.
Because people are just like saying, oh, what's going on? Like, am I? No, you're not the only one. YouTube itself is having an issue. It's not us. So, anyhow, I do apologize on behalf of No
Sorry, I just had that Sam Smith coming song in there.
All right. And we have...
You say I'm crazy. Yeah, respect your elders.
That's the last one. Respect your elders.
So this is very good for Korea because this is Korean culture itself. Although these days it's changing quite a lot. So respect is important, but as we know, respect does go both ways.
It's a two-way street. We're so full of idioms today.
So with my son, I've always respected him from when he was a baby. I've always treated him nice, and now my hope is he'll be nice to other people, and I think he is nice to other people.
I used to, with my kids, it's like half and half now. Even with my kids, to my husband and my husband to myself as well, we use 존댓말 when we speak Korean. He's much older than I am, but 서로 존댓말하고 even to our kids when they were growing up, we would always use 존댓말 to them as well. So it comes automatic to us. And so I feel like showing respect, irrespective of age and generation, that's just good etiquette, good manners.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I agree with you, totally.
Yeah.
So yes, a two-way street, respect younger people, and the young people should respect you back, and if they don't, return it. Return serve.
Yes,
There's another idiom. My goodness, we are full of idioms.
Well, we will check out your pretty face next week. So we're going to call it a wrap for today. And thank you so much for all the great buzzwords. Thank you, Vasana.
Thank you.
All right. It's time to wrap up once again. For those of you who are joining us towards the end, there were issues with Notu. Once again, I apologize. And yes, thank goodness you have the BFM app. California driven by the mamas and papas to take us out. Have a fantastic and safe day. Bye, everybody.
And the sky is gray.
the law.